if he gets franchised.
So I don't think Dak should sit out if he gets franchise tag. First things first, it's $27 million guaranteed, okay? It is a guaranteed payday. I got franchise tagged after my rookie contract because the general manager wasn't the biggest fan of mine. I think he wanted to send me out of town. Mr. Irsay said, brother, McAfee's not going anywhere. So they franchise tagged me the next morning, okay? And I couldn't sign that thing quicker. Right, as soon as I heard about it, I was like, how much am I getting? 2 point what million guaranteed? They're like, yeah. I'm like, that's more money than I deserve. That's more money than I could have ever imagined getting. And I signed it immediately. Now, everybody knows that the franchise tag is the average of the top 5 salaries at your position without any bonuses, right? So, for instance, for me, it was kickers and punters, top 5 without any bonuses. And it was 2 point something million at the time. And I signed it quickly because I was like, yo, I'm becoming a millionaire as soon as I signed this thing. This is awesome. Never expected. I think we're actually on a flight to Canada for Nick's little brother's birthday. We're going to Niagara Falls because he turned 19, okay? So I got a text message basically saying I'm getting franchise tagged. We were in Canada, and I looked around and I said, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. Let's go have a great time. We got all the loonies and toonies in the town. Now, once again, just like the day I got drafted, I didn't understand that a signing bonus, that the money doesn't just hop into your account like as soon as you sign your name. It took a little bit, so I was almost broke. But, I mean, we went for it in Canada. And for me, for Dak Prescott, this is a guy who has outplayed his pay. I mean, everybody knows that. He retired Tony Romo. He has performed at a level that you could have never guessed that he was going to perform for where he was drafted. He hasn't made a lot of money on the field in comparison to other quarterbacks who have done what Dak Prescott has done. Now, going into a contract, the coach that you've had getting fired is a wild move for you, okay? So for me, going into my contract year, Jim Caldwell gets fired, whole new coaching staff, whole new general manager thing. Even in high school, going into my senior year of soccer, coach gets fired, see you later. In college, going into my senior year, coach leaves, new coaching staff, see you later. It's just one of those things where whenever you have a new GM, a new coach, whatever, they don't have a new GM, a new coach, you have to reprove yourself, and those people have visions of what they think the future is supposed to be. I would assume that this franchise tag is much more McCarthy's decision than it is Jerry Jones' decision. I would assume that Mike McCarthy is saying, hey, I would like to know how I like this guy, how we get along. Before we sign this guy up for a 5-year massive deal, I would like to know that I get along with him. Now, many people are saying, well, if Dak gets franchise tagged, he should just hold out because he deserves more. I agree. I think Dak has done everything you could possibly do to deserve and earn a massive contract. It just so happens that the situation that he's currently in, with a new head coach, a new set of coaches around him, now Kellen Moore stays, but everything like that, I think this is going to have to be, yet again, for Dak Prescott, another prove-it year for Dak. Now, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. I just think that's the situation that he's in. Now, well, hello there. Utilize the promo code.
You got to be kidding.
$20
Okay.
off your first order.
You know what? We're going to stop right there. We're going to tell him. Wow. Okay. Did not see that part coming. Did not see the whole thing there. But hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo as well as Joe Bear. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. I mean, it does not work. So let's get open for business again, and let's wake up my football gods. You know, I'm trying to think how long I've been doing this. Now, 2016 was when my YouTube channel took off. And it was because of really one video I did. I've been on YouTube since 2012. And quite frankly, nobody gave a rat's ass. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Most of the people watch me on Facebook. Let me turn the lights down just a little bit here. It looks like I've got some kinks to work out with my new camera, and so I've got just a webcam in front of me, and it looks like I'm literally washed out. So let me actually flip on over to the side cam. It might be a little bit better. Let's go right there. Okay. All right. Let's go with the side cam instead of that front cam because that's just too dark. And I didn't help myself by wearing a dark shirt. So what happens is I blend in with the set here, and the cameras just don't know what to look for. So it is what it is. Actually, let me go to the other one. Looks a little bit better here. So been doing this since 2012, although not really doing videos like this. Not like this. Basically, it was just stuff out, games and little stuff before I actually started really blogging cowboy stuff. I was basically doing YouTube, but in 2016, right after the Senior Bowl, I did a video about Dak Prescott, and I said he was the perfect quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and nobody watched it. Nobody watched it. It had a couple hundred views on it. All my videos had a couple hundred if I was lucky. But then, when Tony Romo got hurt, all of a sudden people started, looking for anything they could. Who is this guy, Dak Prescott? And they found this video of it, and they said, wait a minute, this guy said, 6 months ago, draft Dak Prescott. Oh, Mr. Wright, you're going to be wrong this time, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, Antoine Myers, how you doing? This is 2 times I've seen you in here today. Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones says, we want to get this deal done. We will not use the franchise tag unless it has to be the very last day, which would be March 12th, unless it moves again because they're working on CBA. They say they want to get this deal done for Dak Prescott and get him to a long-term deal. That's what they say. But back to what I was saying. From the time I put that video up, even Mike Mosh, who does my jerseys, and I told him I need a 2020 jersey. When I ordered a Dak Prescott jersey before the season started because I wanted to give it to my son for his birthday, which was in June, he was like, dude, what? Why are you trying to get the third string quarterback? The third string quarterback. I said, yeah, man. I said, he's going to be somebody. He's like, okay, you just crazy, but I'll make $1 off it. I ain't got no problem making some money off of it if you want to spend your money that way. And I did. And so I've been doing this ever since 2016, every Monday and Friday night, almost every Monday and Friday night. I used to do the Benet Emery show and stuff on Monday nights. And it's amazing how many people troll and hate the hell out of me. And it's almost comical how hard some of them try, because there's a guy on Twitter that, you can't help but see it because he tags you 50 times a day. Anytime you check Twitter, you're going to see in notifications, okay, well, this guy again, oh, geez, oh, flip. And there's no likes, there's no shares, there's no retweets. It's just there. And then somebody commented and said, damn, this guy's desperate. He's literally putting out 50 million tweets hating on your quarterback and send them at you. I'm like, it is what it is. So here's the deal. Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones shoots from the hip. I guess you could say that he is a gunslinger. He is, without a doubt, the guy who you never know what he's going to say, what he's going to do, or anything like that. He came out and hasn't really said much about Dak Prescott other than we believe in Dak Prescott. We're going to get this deal done. Stephen Jones came through, and he's the guy you really want to pay attention to. Stephen Jones is the guy who, when he tells you we're going to do something, we're going to be doing that. He must have a man crush on you, Mark. Who must have I don't know, big man game. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy because he's in Puerto Rico and he keeps saying, oh, man, when you come to Puerto Rico next time, giving back, let's go ahead. We'll have a drinking contest. And every time one of us answers a question wrong, we're going to drink. It's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to get any drinks from you, buddy. I don't know what you might be trying to slip up in there, if you know what I mean. But Jerry's getting on your damn nerves. Well, but here's the thing. Stephen Jones, when Stephen Jones talks, pay attention. Let me get a little closer here to you. See, Stephen Jones, he doesn't sugarcoat it. He's not looking for funny. He's not looking for crowd reaction. He tells you exactly how it is. Listen, we have not talked to Dak Prescott's people since September. We want to get this deal done. We're hoping to talk to them at the Combine and get this thing straight. He said, we do not want to franchise tag him. He's our quarterback. We want to keep him. And the only way we'll franchise tag is if we cannot get a deal done on the last day of franchise tag. So for me, that feels good. Now, here's where I'm going to take offense to all these people. Because, see, people quote so much stuff that's misinformation and they swear that it's facts without knowing. And unless you're a fly on the wall for sure, you can't go by what you hear on TV. It's not about having the facts and the story right. It's about getting people to respond. Rob Parker, who's always, no way, no how.
Danny, thank you very much for that super chat. How you doing, man? Where you been, man? Where you been?
Rob Parker, who's forever like, don't pay Dak Prescott, tell him to pay $20 million. Here it is, that guy last week was going off on Emmitt Smith. How you talking about somebody else's money? They need to pay Dak. And it's like, wait a minute. You just took the exact opposite stance that you've been having all the time. How are you credible? I understand Stephen A. Smith, although he's kind of evolved a little bit. I think the Cowboys win, he'll be a bandwagon fan. He will be a bandwagon fan. You just know that. Because he's already, I caught him before, hugging up on the Joneses and everything else, Oh, I love Stephen and Jerry Jones, but those fans, I hate the fans. Okay. See, you got that plausible deniability. That's what you got. But we know at heart, the Dallas Cowboys made you rich. And you love some Dallas Cowboys because you love that green. But people keep saying, Dak Prescott, you want to pay Dak Prescott $40 million. He's a bum. He's not worth it. Hold on. Stop right there. Forget about the big numbers, okay? Forget about those. Pay attention to the guaranteed money because that's all that really counts. DeMarcus Lawrence will never get $105 million from the Dallas Cowboys. What he will get will be the $65 million that was guaranteed. Albert Hainsworth signed a $100 million contract with the Redskins. He got 30 of it. Very rarely does somebody sign a big-ass contract and get all the money. Very rarely. And if he does sign a big contract, let's say he signs a $200 million contract and gets all of it, it's because he earned it. Tyron Smith will be one of those guys that actually fulfills the whole contract. They signed him to a $97 million contract. And right now, that contract looks sweet. He's only getting $13 million, where that's like 13th in tackles. 13th in pay. Because he's earned it. Because he's one of the best there is in the building. Don't worry, when the Cowboys make this deal, they're going to have some outs on it. They're going to be able to get out from under it. But don't look at this, he wants 35, he wants $40 million. It doesn't matter. All that matters is how much is guaranteed money. And what the Cowboys offered was $90 million. That's only $2 million more than Kirk Cousins' fully guaranteed deal. That's it. That guaranteed money is somewhere around 8th or 9th in compensation right now before anybody else gets paid. So it's not the highest contract. It's the highest, numbers for the sake of saying it's the biggest contract ever. But the reality of it is, it's not. And when you looked at Carson Wentz being 105, I think, and Jared Goff being 107, you're talking about, $15, $20 million less than those guys. And if I'm Dak Prescott, I at least say, I'm as good as those guys. I'm as good as those guys. And I'm, and here's my new thing. Every time somebody comes around and says that, Dak Prescott isn't as good as Carson Wentz, I'm doing All right, Eagles, you see how we're going to roll. Anytime any Eagle comes up in here talking some smack, talking that crazy, nasty, stupid shit, Okay? That's what we gonna do in here, okay? We gonna say, there you go. Pagan Texas Eagle. Here we go. For you. Michael Brown, thank you very much. That's your chat. You know what? I got an answer. You know what? Congratulations on making the playoffs. Congratulations, Eagles, on making the playoffs, okay? You did what we did not do this year, okay? But let me ask you about your quarterback who couldn't make it through the first quarter. Could not make it through the first quarter. Am I wrong on that? Did he not make it through the first quarter? He bumped his head and he went to bed, okay? And you know, if that had been Dak Prescott who bumped his head and said, you know what, I don't want to go back out there. If that had been Dak Prescott, you know that they would have said, Dak Prescott, man, he's just not tough. He can't take it. He's not out there. He's not manning up. He's a big P. You know that. You know that. But yet Carson Wentz, oh, he's so brave. He's so brave. Oh, Pagan Texas. You know what? Let me. I hate when y'all bring this stuff out of me. Let me see if I can find this clip real quick. No, this isn't the one. Well, this is not the one I was looking
Week
for.
7 brought us
but
not one but two worst calls of the week, and they both have to do with the NFL's new targeting rule. The questionable calls came in the Browns versus Buccaneers and Cowboys versus Washington games, when quarterbacks Dak Prescott and Baker Mayfield were both in the run.
Let's look
in
at some of these.
both situations, the quarterbacks were running with the ball.
Now
and
you
were
can tell
brutally
me
hit in the head by a defender.
that hit out of bounds.
Mayfield was able to quickly bounce back.
That hit out of
Prescott
bounds
had to
right
leave
there.
the game
Boom,
to
on
be
my
evaluated
quarterback.
for a concussion.
Let's look at this again.
Questionable
Now
calls
watch.
came in the Browns versus Buccaneers
Dak
and
Prescott
Cowboys versus Washington games, when quarterbacks
and Baker
Dak
Mayfield.
Prescott and Baker Mayfield were
Baker,
both on the run.
he's
In both
running out.
situations,
He's
the
running.
quarterbacks
Dak
were
is
running with
running.
the ball and were brutally
He
hit
runs
in the head by a
downfield.
defender.
Dak gets hit out of bounds.
Mayfield was able to quickly bounce back, but Prescott had to leave the game to be
Right?
evaluated for a concussion.
Gets knocked, and my quarterback gets up. Unlike your Eagles,
Although both
my
hits were
quarterback
hard to
got back
watch,
up.
Officials didn't call a penalty in either scenario. Initially, a flag was thrown for the Mayfield hit, but the officials picked it up and
Baker
said there was no
Mayfield,
foul in the
they
play.
got a flag.
That's because under
Look
the
at this.
NFL's new targeting
He's out of
rule,
bounds.
these hits don't
Bam!
qualify as
Let
targeting.
me throw a shoulder right into his
Under
helmet
the
and
new rule,
stuff.
targeting happens when a legal hit is made. Those hits had happened while the quarterbacks were in the act of throwing. Since Mayfield and Prescott
This wasn't
had
the clip
established
that I
themselves as
wanted,
runners,
but
both defenseless players. And if the NFL wants to claim it cares
That's
about
not a
players'
defenseless
safety,
player?
those are the exact types of hits that need to be penalized.
So that wasn't the one I was
While
looking
those
for. I was
biggest
actually
plays
looking
might
for the
technically
Jets
be
because,
legal,
see, the Jets, we were told that, well, the Jets were better than Dak Prescott. You know, Sam Darnold is better than him because he ended up having, you know, they had those cheap shots where they were literally just throwing them in the ground. The officials didn't do a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Nothing. Should have been at least two 15-yard penalties giving us first downs, but nope. You know, Dak Prescott, he's like a running back. You know, he's different. Come on, man. Maybe a tag, not going anywhere, but he needs competition at that position. Antoine, I'm just going to ask you, though. I'm just going to ask you this. This is just a discussion. How much more do you expect from the position? What else do we need to do to satisfy? 30 TDs not enough. 11 interceptions too many. 4,902 yards not enough. 3 rushing touchdowns. second in yardage. I mean, that's not enough. That's not enough. Okay, the only thing I ask on this, or say, if we are so critical on Dak, and I have no problem with being critical on Dak. I don't have any problem with saying we need to get more production. I'm cool with that. But why don't we put some of that same energy on the special teams and the defense? Let's just say hypothetically, we get 5 more TDs. 5 more TDs by Dak Prescott or another quarterback. Let's say we get another quarterback that gets us 5 more TDs, which would have led the NFL, mind you. Would have led the NFL this year. Because I think Amari had, 33? Let's say we get another 500 yards. So we get 5,500 yards. Let's say we get 2 less interceptions. So we get 9 interceptions. Does that put us in the Super Bowl then? Does that put us in the Super Bowl? Oh, I wasn't going to. You can't. You can't count the drops because see, that's Dak Prescott's not accurate. Because if the ball is not right, this is the target. Here's the target right here. Here's the target right there. If Dak is not dead center on that, then his accuracy is an issue. His accuracy is an issue.
Yeah, well, here's the problem with... thank you very much, Antoine.
Here's the problem with having true competition is you only have so much money to go around. To have two... Here, the Eagles, fortunate for them, they had 2 quarterbacks. Fortunate for them, because they wouldn't have got a Super Bowl if it wasn't having Nick Foles. I will look at that and say, yeah, that was great for them to have a backup quarterback. But here it is. We can't pay our wide receiver, our defensive back. How are we going to afford a decent quarterback? And if we lose Amari Cooper, if we lose Byron Jones, we need to draft guys to replace him, right? So if you're going to say, well, let's just draft another quarterback to go with Dak for competition, well, okay, so we got 2 quarterbacks. We got no number 1. Our defense is still hurting because we don't have a big man in the middle. So where's the competition going to come from? And when you look around, what, are you going to bring in Teddy Bridgewater? Are you going to sign Tom Brady and say, Tom, we want you to, try and compete with Dak Prescott? I don't know how in today's football you can truly have competition at the quarterback. If you got a way, by all means, Antoine, I'm more than happy to hear it. Oh, Eagles fans, come on. I'm going to keep playing that every time I get some trolls. And maybe I can trace the trolls out, okay? Because I just want to understand. I want to understand if you are honest with yourself, Eagle fans, if you're honest with yourself, how was that not garbage against the Dallas Cowboys? Seriously. How was that not garbage playing against the Dallas Cowboys? I know we lost. I know we didn't score any touchdowns. I know we didn't do that against you Eagles. I got that. But that's what your guy did against us the first week. Well, Brad, I can tell you one thing, Brad Wright. I can tell you one thing. Dak didn't have any interceptions. He didn't have any fumbles. And Dak was hurt. Carson Wentz wasn't hurt in that game, was he? Was he? And oh, by the way, this is my channel. That's right. It's the Joe Blue Sports Report. And I am a Dallas Cowboy YouTuber. So if I want to only show Carson Wentz and his shortcomings, Okay, you know what? Brad, 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 Brad. Come on, man. Really? Wheelchair Dak? You mean the guy who's only missed one practice? We're not talking about games now. We're talking about practice in his career. And you gonna call him wheelchair? Come on, man. Come on, man. That was throwing some shit on the wall and it just fell right off, man. Come on, man. That was weak. That was weak, man. Come on. When you step into the man cave, at least have a good take, man. I'm wrong. What? Wait. Listen, man. Brad, wait, Brad. I'm wrong for how am I wrong, man? Come on, man. What? You listen. You came into my house and you talking smack about my quarterback, okay? And then swear that your guy is good. See, you've been pounded. It's been pounded in your head that your quarterback is great. And I'm gonna tell you. Look, let me. Okay, I tell you what. I tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do. Forget taking it from me. Take it from me.
Does anybody know? Did anybody just watch? Am I the only person? Do I speak dog?
Yes, you do.
Rough, mother humper. 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 I mean,
this is where I was saying earlier.
What is Carr supposed to do? Urge
Okay,
drop
should
the
have
ball
said
in the
that
end
field goal
zone.
earlier. Now the only.
I believe that was your guy when your team was getting their lunch handed to them. I think that was your guy. I could be wrong, but I think that was your guy. Okay, so come on, man. Come on. You know, I've been doing this for quite a while, man. I know how to get under people's skin. Oh, wrong camera. I know how to get under people's skin, man. I definitely know how to get under people's skin. But seriously, though, let's listen to Stephen Jones and his take on the Dak Prescott situation, because Stephen Jones does not hold any punches. He tells it like it is.
Domestic, and our goal is to get it done before you have to tack, last day to tack. Really, that's the facts of where we were.
Right.
And certainly we've done a lot of thinking about it and looking at it, and we'll see where we end up.
Any hindsight, or was maybe that was a mistake by building?
I'm not going to hindsight.
You'd like not to use a franchise tag on him. You'd like to do a long-term deal. But
Yes.
if you have to franchise tag, is it accurate to say it would be the exclusive variety?
I'm not going to get into any of the details of the contract and franchising and that type of thing. Our goal is to get it done with Dak, and I know he wants to be here, and we want him to be here long-term, and he's our guy. We've got nothing but the highest regards for him, and we want to get the deal done.
Would you say the CBA's factor, is that because of the franchise rules and?
Yeah,
and
30% rules when you're going into the last year of the CBA. There's a lot of moving parts that go with how the contract's structured.
How would you characterize your last meeting with Dak and his agent?
A long time ago.
It just kind of stopped, and we kind of left it where it was. And, I wouldn't say there was anything acrimonious. We just we felt like we were kind of where we were, and we never really got going again.
Given the success you guys.
Still not close to a deal with him at this stage?
Well, once we didn't get it done, no, I'm not surprised we don't have it done. Once we didn't get it done, right there at the beginning of the season, it certainly doesn't surprise me that it's not done yet right now. I mean, I was surprised that we didn't get it done at the beginning of the season. And obviously, Jerry's thoughts on it. We all thought we were close, but we weren't able to get it done.
Did you think about going in another direction at the position?
Absolutely not. I mean, Dak's our
Thank
quarterback.
you.
And, he's our quarterback for the future, and we have nothing but the greatest respect for him. He's a competitor. He's won a lot of football games for us. Obviously, he, like us, we all want to take that next step, and get into a championship game and, get to the big game and ultimately win a championship. So there's no thoughts like that.
He's your guy. But you guys have been talking now for the last year, and it still seems like you guys are close to getting this thing done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to comment on that other than, we feel
We just
strongly
take our
about
damn
getting it
time.
done, and sometimes things take longer than others.
How would you characterize the activity level of negotiations on Dak's deal since the end of the season?
I'd say low.
Non-existent?
Yeah.
The last time you talked in September.
Okay, so that's enough to get your feel. So he's saying that, there's no thoughts of wanting to get anybody else. There's no thoughts of looking at free agents. We want to get the deal done. We're not going to discuss how much it's going to cost or anything like that. We are going to get this thing done. Can't pay me to watch an Eagle YouTuber. What, Eagles fans? Brad, let's see. What you got to say this time, Brad? See, Brad, you're loving this. See, that's what y'all really do. Y'all like the attention, don't you? Y'all just love the attentions. And, it is so... you Eagle fans, I got to tell you, you have become what you hated. I mean, seriously. Seriously. It is so funny how you guys have done a complete 180. Because it used to be, when we would say, we got 5 Super Bowl rings, you guys would say, don't talk about the old stuff. No, you can't talk about that. And we say, but it's been, you've never won a Super Bowl ring. That doesn't matter, right? You can't talk about that. And get mad about it. And now you guys have gotten on the other side, and now you're talking about, oh, you guys ain't done nothing in the last 25 years. You literally have become what you used to despise, man. Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real. Wait. Got a super chat.
Glenn Arrington, thank you very much for the super chat.
Let's be real here. What happens in the NFC East is teams rise, teams fall. Unless you have Jason Garrett as a coach, in which case you can get stuck at 8-8. Because this is what the Cowboys did before. And all you guys that have this short memory, I'm glad that you're not satisfied with being, just in the playoffs. I want Super Bowls too. Don't get me wrong, because I want Super Bowls too. But understand what happened to us 2010, 2011, 2011, 12, and 13. Win or go home game, end of the season, we lost to the Giants. Win or go home, we lost to the Redskins. Win or go home the next year, we lost to the Eagles. Every year, it's a different team that wins the NFC East. When you won the Super Bowl, when you were told that you were the best team in football, you had the best quarterback situation, right? You got a great roster. You got an outstanding head coach. You got everything. You were an odds-on Super Bowl favorite again. And what happened? The Dallas Cowboys beat you twice. You made it to the playoffs because of Nick Foles, because he won 3 games in a row where you guys were sucking. That happens every year in the NFC East. The fact that we didn't go to the basement, I got to say, hey, actually, that's a good thing. And at least for us, okay, so you got to the playoffs and you pissed down your leg. You feel good about that? Dak ain't paying me nothing. Pagan, Texas Eagle. But if you want to talk about somebody who's paying me, actually you are, because, see, every time you comment, every time you come in and put the thumbs down, guess what? Google ends up saying, you know what? People are interacting with this guy. Let's move him up the search ranks. So actually, you are. How about that? But no, Dak's not paying me. But, if he wants to make a charitable donation to the Joe Boo Sports Report, or if he just wants to call in, and have, and chew the fat with me, I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. But no, I'm not getting any compensation. I do this because it's enjoyable for me. It actually gets me around some of my people, okay? And I like to try and at least set the record straight because the narrative we always hear, a lot of times it's not exactly the way life really is. And so I end up trying to at least be the other talk. When they say things that are ridiculous. Hey, what's up, Twan? How you doing, Twan? What's going on, man? Dak can play hurt. You see him against the Eagles. Yeah, and that might not have been the wisest thing to play in there. But then again, we didn't have anybody else. So, that happens sometimes. And the reality is everybody gets beat up. So, some of them get beat up and still play because I saw Dak Prescott get his hand jacked up against the Redskins, not miss a play and come back and continue to win. Some guys get jacked up and can't make it through the season and have to get somebody else to take over for them. Tony, I'm serious. It's kind of like, is there no other live stream for the Eagles on Monday nights? Is that what there isn't one? There's no Eagles stations to be. They literally have to be here on the Joe Boo Sports Report. I just can't understand it. So the next order of business here, which is going to affect everything else, is where do we stand on the CBA? We need to get, or excuse me, they need to get this thing done one way or the other for the owners' benefits. Here's what I think. The owners, of course, real quick, here's our proposal. We're going to pass this. This feels great. We're giving the players so they won't get tested for weed. We're going to have 5 years of health benefits after they leave. We're going to give them a little bit bigger, portion of the money. We're looking out for the players and the partnership. But it's just like buying a car. You never take the first offer. If he's going to offer you this, who knows what else you can offer. Now, I'm hearing some players that are kind of like, you know what? We're not doing 17 games. There's some guys that are up in arms that don't want it. There are other ones that don't really even know. All I know is they're talking about more money. So they're going to have another conference call tomorrow. They're going to be seeing what's going on. If it ends up being a vote with the players, they only need a 51% margin to pass it. I think it's going to end up being some more negotiations back and forth. I think that the players are going to be looking for the NFL to give some more. I think they're looking for lifetime benefits. And I think the biggest snag here is because they're going to 17 games. Well, my contract was based on 16 games. So now I'm playing an extra game. What the NFL has done for that 17th game is they've made a cap of $250,000. You will not get paid more than $250,000 for that game. Now, I'd be more than happy to go play for any of the players that didn't want to play for that game and take the $250,000. I'm just putting it out there. Hey, if that helps us to get a deal, I will do that because I'm a team guy. But here's the thing. If you're, say, Aaron Rodgers and you get $2 million a game, you aren't paying me my going rate for that. You're not even close on that. And here's the other way to look at it. And you're probably saying, yeah, but you got $32 million for the year. I understand that, but that was what was negotiated for me to have for 16 games. If I play for 8 years, I have now added half of a season onto my career. That is time that I can't get back. That's plays that I'm going to be playing. That's hits that I'm going to put on my body. It's going to shorten my earning potential and career. And I know we all look at this and say, dude, look how much money they got. But, it doesn't matter. But look how much money the owners got. I ain't seen any of these owners that are broke. I keep seeing them buying bigger and bigger boats and getting bigger and bigger stadiums that are being built and bigger contracts and getting into other businesses like gambling. So don't feel sorry like, the players are greedy. Guys, it's a whole nother level. Miss Jackie, how you doing?
Did you ever figure out what shelf she wanted?
Huh?
Did you ever figure out what shelf she
Yeah, I got what shelf she wants.
Let me know.
Brad.
Paint one up for you.
Brad, I'm going to ask you the real deal. Brad. Why are you here? Seriously. Why is it that you Eagle fans are always the first ones in my house? You say y'all despise Dallas Cowboy players, YouTubers, and fans. If I despise somebody, I'm not going to their house. Come on, Brad. Level with me, dude. Level with me. You know you're a closet Cowboy fan. You know you love the Dallas Cowboys. Come on, admit it. And see, I know what you're worried about, man. I know what you're worried about. You're worried that your guy, who's now been injured 3 years in a row, who finally got to the playoffs for the first time and broke down. You're worried, aren't you? You're worried that your quarterback ain't gonna make it. You guys are trying to pump him up and you're trying to believe that he's the guy, aren't you? You're trying to believe that he is going to be the guy that's going to get us to the promised land. Again, right? He got you halfway there. But I don't know that he is going to be able to do it. Suffering Dallas Cowboy fan, thank you very much for the super chat. That's where the Joneses, you know, the Joneses always try and make this thing that, you know, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get team friendly. They've been talking about team friendly deal forever. Ain't nobody else talking about team friendly deal. Ain't nobody else talking about team friendly deal. Only Dak Prescott. But here's the thing. That $90 million, it's not that, I mean, it's not the highest contract like everybody believes. And when I try to explain these things, all that happens is like that troll on YouTube, he wants $40 million. Well, if you pay him $40 million, you're only guaranteeing 2.25 years at that rate. You know, Kirk Cousins has made $120 million. Kirk Cousins has made $120 million. And guess what? In the next year, either Minnesota's going to pay him a king's ransom again, or somebody else will. Glenn Arrington, thank you very much for the super chat. Eagles fans say our Super Bowl. Our Super Bowl trophies are old. Well, in that case, we're still taking. Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Great point. That's right. Our trophies are. You would think that the Eagles win Super Bowl every year. Law said it's the best payday loan ever. You're right about that. Hate the Eagles, but they beat us with no wide receivers. You know, Andy, sometimes those things happen. And let me ask you this. Is this a possibility? I'll tell you what, let me do this. Let me do this. I don't see a short one. Because I'm going to be honest with you. When I looked at that game, and this is going to be, it's going to make me, I'm just going to play it in the background here. But when I looked at that game, I'm looking at our team, to me, seemed a lot more fired up than usual. Our team seemed like they were excited about playing. because this was right after they talked about, basically we're moving on from Jason Garrett. And I'm looking at my quarterback throwing downfield. Look at my man. Oh, he missed that one. Okay, 3rd and 3. But to me, the team seemed like it had more fire to it. Seemed like they were playing better in that game. They went out and they called that game differently. They went out on the first series. In fact, that was the first series right there. Here's the thing. First series, you saw them go deep right there. They came out regular I formation, like Zeke's going to run up the middle, first play. Then they shifted out of it. They shifted out of it to 4 wideouts. It ended up being like an 8-yard pattern to Jason Witten, but it went from being what you would think would be a running down, and they passed it. So they started out looking different. They started doing play action, and once they started doing that, that opened up the middle for the Dallas Cowboys. See, too many times we stop doing play action, and it ends up being, boom, there you go. Look at my quarterback. It ends up being that teams know, stop the run. We know which is going to be passing downs. And that's where you start looking at this, because, see, if your identity is we're a team that does play action, you do it kind of consistently amount of times. But some games we did it like 42% of the times. Other games we did it like 9. And every game that you did play action, you were successful with it. Every time you ran it 28% of the time, 28% of the plays that you did were successful when you were using play action. The only game that you didn't win that you had that was against the Vikings. And I got to look at that and say, Zeke Elliott only had 56 yards. And when we were driving for the game-winning score, we decided to continue to go back to Zeke Elliott and run the ball. But you look at our team, to me, they look fired up. Then you started hearing Jerry Jones talking about, Jason Garrett, we believe in that guy. He's the guy that can lead us to the playoffs. And you started getting this feeling that if we make the playoffs, we're keeping Jason Garrett. I'm not going to say that the team ended up giving up on that game. But I got to tell you, to me, you looked at how this team reacted, how they played in this game, how they stomped the Rams, how they came out fired up. They didn't do that when they played the Eagles. They went out there like a limp biscuit. Now, you can say what you want, that we didn't beat. Sometimes you just go out there and you're flat, and they were flat. And I'm sitting here looking, you can't tell me that this team wasn't ready to play against the Rams. Am I wrong? Our backup quarterback's better than Wentz and Dak. Who? Oh, come on, man. Dude. Redskin fans, you need to just be quiet. You just need to be quiet, because grown folks are talking right now. Grown folks are talking right now. So, Redskin fans, shh. We'll have child please hour later. Okay? We'll have child please hour later. But see, Jim, you can't talk about Dak being hurt. He's not allowed to be hurt. He can't use that for an excuse. Come on, man. You know how that goes. But Carson Wentz, though, when he gets hurt, he gets a pat on the back for not going back in. Michael, technically, he's a free agent. They redid his deal, so he may retire. Yeah, and he had a little more time for his shoulder to heal, Brad. I'm not saying that you guys don't get credit for winning, because you did. You won. You beat us. I give you credit on that. But that's just one game. That was not. Are we? Okay. Well, let me ask this then. So, are we Eagles fans saying that that's a career-defining moment for Carson Wentz? That you beat the Dallas Cowboys for once? Is that what we're saying? That was a career-defining game? Because that's what it sounds like when you keep hearing about, that Dak Prescott, he shouldn't get paid because he lost it. Because it sounds like you guys are saying that beating the Dallas Cowboys is like a Super Bowl victory. Am I wrong? Am I wrong on that? It's one game. So explain to me, since your quarterback is so great, how come he's lost to Dak Prescott 5 times? What about those other 5 games? Those don't matter? They don't matter? Come on, man. See, you Eagle fans got me wasting too much time. You know, I'm sorry. Cowboy fans, I'm sorry. I've wasted too much time dealing with idiots, man. Just dealing with freaking idiots. Forgive me, because we got business of our own we need to take care of. But I'm going to tell you, as I look at this team right here, looking at my quarterback, looking at my teammates, kicking the Rams' ass. Did we miss that one? Oh, he actually made one. Okay. All right. What we have to deal with is this. We know that we're trying to get Dak Prescott's deal done. It looks like already the odd man out is Byron Jones. And it sounded like Stephen Jones basically said, we broke up. It's not you, bro. It's me. He said, basically, you know, we've had a good run. He used that exactly. We've had a good run. And to me, when you say we've had a good run, that is finality. That means we are done. It's over. The run stops here. He's gone. He is gone. I wonder the Cowboys, for the most part, have not been a player in free agency since Brandon Carr. We signed Brandon Carr a $54 million contract. We thought he was going to be a shutdown corner. He ended up not being. We look at guys we've signed to big contracts, and you can go back until like 2007 when we thought Jay Ratcliffe was a great defensive lineman, and he really was a rat. They paid him. We paid Miles Austin, you know, a guy who had history of hamstring issues, and he had one good year, decent second year, third year he was gone to Cleveland. You could look at Terrence Newman. He ended up getting paid, couldn't stay healthy and stuff. You looked at, you know, Des Bryant, got his big deal in 2014. After that, he couldn't stay healthy. Now we just paid D-Law, and some of that's the Cowboys' fault because they waited to get the contract done. You looked at it and say, did we really get value for that $21 million? Are we going to get value for that this year? I hope we do. But you start looking at this and saying, would we have been better off had we done what New England did and let Trey Flowers go? You got the cash back. So right now we'd have another $21 million on the 77. You can rent some guys. You can rent a couple of guys for $21 million. And looking at this and saying, do I want to do this with Amari? Do I want to do this with Byron? I've already done it with Zeke. I got to keep the quarterback. If these guys don't perform or if they can't stay healthy, I'm screwed. Am I better off letting some of these guys go and get some lesser parts? I got a good offensive line. I got a great running back. I got a quarterback. Maybe we look at getting some guys and just try and have a monster draft. I don't know if that's going to be the philosophy, but we keep looking at all of the high-priced talent. And the problem is going to be is that may hamstring you, although it may not because of the CBA. That may be the big inflection of cash. But it just seems like the Dallas Cowboys have not been able to get their money's worth when they've done these contracts. Just saying. Good evening, Brother Mark. How do you feel about us taking a backup for Dak in the 4th and 5th rounds? I'm not sold on Cooper Rush at all. Well, Dallas, Super Bowl 6, the reality is if Dak goes out, we're probably not going to have much of a chance anyway. I don't have a problem with trying, if you got a guy there in the 4th and 5th round, as long as we take care of our defense, that's to me the biggest area where we can improve. If we can just get a defense that starts taking the ball away, I think we're going to be in great shape. And that's, to me, the focus. You can't break. 33 is not breaking. 33, 35 is not breaking the bank. Sorry, it's not. Because here's the thing. Your cap hit, as much as a lot of people say, just franchise tag him. Dudes, listen to me. I keep trying to explain it to you, but I don't think you guys actually listen. If you franchise tag him, you pay him at $33 million. That could be more if Pat Mahomes and Deshaun Watson get their deal before April 15th. What are you doing the next year? Are you trying to draft a quarterback? Chris Miller, thank you very much for that super chat. Are you trying to draft another quarterback to sit behind him next year? So he's ready the year after? So you're going to use draft capital for that? Or are you going to franchise tag him again? Because the franchise tag is a minimum of 120% of the cap before. So now you're talking about 40-something. So you're actually talking about, here's the thing. If you're talking about franchise tagging him twice, you're talking about $75 million. Right now, you're offering him a contract of basically $15 million more. $75 million for 2 years. You're not going to tag him a third year. You're going to have to do a contract then. 2 years from now, what do you think the contract's going to be like for quarterbacks? Kirk Cousins was just 2 years ago. 28 sounds like a steal right now. On top of it, Kenny Gibson, thank you very much for your chats. I'm willing to lose Byron Jones if it means we can sign Dak and Amari. Great point. If you franchise tag him, you're definitely going to lose some people because it's going to be a hard number. It's going to be 33 straight up. That's almost half of your cap money at this moment. If you get him a long-term deal, you can make it however you want to. You can take, let's say it's $100 million guaranteed. It's a 5-year deal. That means it's $20 million prorated over the lifetime of the contract. You turn around and say, Dak, we are paying you $1 million for the first year. You're getting this $50 million check today when you sign it. Your salary is actually $1 million. Okay. So your cap number is $21 million. So that gives you another $12 million. $12 million, that's probably enough to keep Robert Quinn. $12 million is almost enough to keep Byron Jones. You following me on that? So the difference between being tagged versus having a long-term deal are night and day difference. You've got more money to spend. Love that Amari is out if this hateful country. Oh, yeah, you say he's in Bali, I think? Byron doesn't travel, paying $14-16 million for a cornerback that stays on one side of the field and can't get turnovers is a question. I have to agree with you on that one. You know what's funny though, Jim? Hey, Jim. You know what's funny? Derek Carr actually had Amari Cooper. And did you see what he did the last 2 years he was there with Derek Carr? Not much. So this is the thing that's funny to me. Going into let's think about this for a second. Oh, you got me thinking here. Michael Gallup was a third-round draft pick. I think the 9th or 10th wide receiver taken. Nobody looked at him and said, he's going to be a stud. Grab him. He wasn't Calvin Ridley or anything like that. Okay? Right? Am I right on that? I am right. Okay. Randall Cobb was a guy who was thought to be, over the hill, injury prone, and his best days were behind him. He had Aaron Rodgers thrown to him his whole career. Explain to me how Randall Cobb this year had his best year since like 2015, I think, in 5 years. You had Aaron Rodgers, the bad man, passing to him. Aaron Rodgers passing to him. Somehow, you know what's funny? Randall Cobb had his longest per completion ever in his career under Dak Prescott. Give you another one. Amari Cooper. Guess what? Same situation. Remember when he was in Oakland? Everybody said, man, the Cowboys screwed up when they got this guy, man. This guy's checked out. He doesn't care about football. He's a bum. John Gruden gave up on him. But somehow, some way, he had a career year with the Dallas Cowboys, having more yards per completion than ever in his career. So explain that one to me. And how we have three guys, yards per completion in the top 20 in the NFL. How is that? With a bum-ass quarterback. Because nobody wanted Randall Cobb. Nobody wanted to trade for Amari Cooper. And here it is, Michael Gallup was a third-round drafted guy. So if you want to talk about, well, you know, Carson Wentz didn't have anybody around him, maybe Carson Wentz couldn't make those guys better. Is that possible? Am I wrong? Because isn't that what they say? That a franchise quarterback makes the people around them better. Well, Randall Cobb was better than he was in Green Bay with Jason Garrett as a coach. Amari Cooper was better than he was with the Raiders with Dak Prescott. And Michael Gallup is playing better than a third-round pick wide receiver. Is that possible? Oh, I'll even give you another one. Oh, man. Even though Dez Bryant has been injured the whole time that he's been under Dak Prescott, here's what's amazing. Dez Bryant had his highest yards per completion with Dak Prescott. I shit you not. All four guys had their longest catch per completion with Dak Prescott. If that's not elevating players around you, then I don't know what the fuck is. And yet we still say my knock on Dak Prescott is, dude can't elevate the damn defense or the special teams or the damn kicker. That's why we shouldn't pay him, because he could not elevate those guys. You know, that franchise quarterback, he's supposed to put those guys on his back, and he's supposed to take them to victory. He did not do that with the damn defense. Psh, don't pay that guy. He's a bum. He's a bum. Man, get out of here with that crap, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of that stuff. But I got actually a lot to do, because I've got I got to do some work tomorrow for the wife. I actually have to make some shrimp and grits first thing in the morning. I got to get up at like 4 o'clock and make shrimp and grits. They got some people that they're having. I got to do some photography work and all that. So I actually got to get through and pack up all my stuff. So what I need you guys to do, I want to thank everybody. I see the Power of 4 up on here. Do I have any, Danny? Do I have any legitimate criticism of Dak? Really? Is that a question? Yes, actually I do. Everybody can get better. Everybody can get better. I think he needs to run a little bit more, although I wouldn't run either with the team not paying me. I think he can work on his ball speed. I think he can work on his accuracy a little bit and his reads. Because, see, I'm of the ilk of the day you stop learning and getting better is the day you die. There are nuances in everything, and it doesn't matter who you talk to. It can be a bum on the street, but he can teach you something. If your mind is open. And I think Dak Prescott right now, we have not seen everything that Dak Prescott can do yet. I'm not satisfied where he is right now. I think he can be even better. And I think that guy is going to strive to be even better. How about that? So grab your shot glasses. I want to thank everybody who's been a member of the channel, helping to support it. Everybody who's gotten like shot glass racks and stuff. Oh, my buddy from New York who just got his shot glass rack. Okay, here's the thing. You got the attachments. If you look on the back of it, you'll see 3 holes. 3 holes, okay? So if you want the rack to go long ways like this, you go with the 2 holes that'll be parallel to the ground. If you want it to go long ways so you can have more shot glasses on it, use these 2 holes. But put the screw in it, put the little attachment so that way they're pointing down, and when you put it up, go up to the wall, line it up however you want to, and gently pull it down. Now when you take it off, make sure you pull it back up, but it'll attach to the wall, boom, just like that. That thing will end up holding about 50 pounds. And since you guys liked our clips of Carson Wentz, basically throwing up all over himself against the Dallas Cowboys, we'll do a few more of those clips and get them loaded in here. But right now, I want to give a shout out to all of my channel members. Man, thank all of you great fans and stuff like that. Let's get ready to turn out the lights. My bad, guys. I put the wrong clip. I didn't mean to play that clip again. All right, it's time to turn out the lights, y'all, because this party's over. I got to go stop chopping some onions and peppers and celery and sausage and all that stuff so that way we can get ready for this shrimp and grits for tomorrow. But as always, I want to thank everybody who came in here, even you trolls. You guys make it fun in here. Gives us something to laugh at. But the Cowboys, hopefully they get this deal done, and hopefully they can put together a great team. We'll see what happens with the CBA. I actually didn't touch on that too much, but I appreciate everybody being here, and I'll see you guys first thing in the morning.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.
Oh, not bad. I'm still on. Let me